Oh, let's see. Okay. So, good evening. Today is the 27th of July. My goodness, time is flying. And I've got some interesting news for you. Today, we're going to talk about something we have never talked about before on this particular with this particular group. And I'm stuttering a little bit because I want to make sure that I know who's on and what's going on. And Dardanella actually says good evening already. So, hey, Dardanella, how are you? So glad that you're here. I want to hear from my new people, of course. So if you're new, tell me in the chat, I'm new, or maybe raise your hand if you're not able to text or chat right now. So today we're talking about safety, and we're talking specifically about first aid kits. Now, I know that some of you have been around for a while and you've been using your essential oils and that you have your essential oils handy, but I'm talking about something that you can bring with you everywhere, something that really is just a wonderful thing to put together. And if you've been on my oil camp, Yo Oils Oil Camp, and we're going to talk about that in a little while, you know that we actually make a sort of a homemade first aid kit. So if you haven't been on oil camp, I'm going to send you the link later on today for the August camp, because it's going to be starting up soon. And you're welcome to join me on oil camp, and we'll talk about that in a little while. So Jenny's saying, hi, Elena, I'm new. Hey, Jenny, so happy that you're here. Always love to hear from my new people. Anyone else who's new today, please tell me in the chat. I really want to hear from you. Today is our summertime, what I'm calling summertime safety, but it's a great way for us any time of the year to really carry that most important group of products with us, because it's not just essential oils. And I think it's important, especially if you're new or you haven't, if you're teaching new people, this is a great project that you can do with new people. So for all of you who have been around for a while and you're thinking, oh, first aid kit, I already know about that. This is a terrific project you can do. You can do it on a Zoom call. You can do it in your home. You can do it in a cafe. You can do it outside in an office. These are great places. And then you can tell people, this is what I keep in my first aid kit. And you can doctor it up. Everybody else can make theirs individually the way they like. So let's get started right away. So number one is, when we talk about first aid kits, we always want to talk about getting something together that makes sense for us, right? So there's a lot of things that we have in first aid kits, or maybe somebody else might have in a first aid kit, but it doesn't necessarily work for us, right? We want to make sure that we have the things in there that we really need and not something that anybody else needs. Having said that, there are a few basics that I think you cannot avoid, and we're going to tie this all in actually with last week's Bogo Box. So isn't that an interesting kind of a twist? We are talking about summertime safety. We're talking about products most popular, I would say, in many cases, but also those that you need around with you all the time. So I keep this little bag, not the one that's shown here, but I have carried this one. And this little bag is actually available online at a company called Aromatool. So if you're ever interested in carrying that specific bag, they do have that bag available. And this is sort of a cute way for you to carry everything in one place. So if you look at this Bogo bag, I'm sorry, if you look at Bogo bag, listen to me. If you look at this first aid kit, what you're going to see is a little bit of a variety of things that are going to help you in any situation. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, if you were lucky enough and fast enough to have purchased the Bogo Box last week, you know that there were a whole bunch of products in there that I'm going to call mystery products. So when I revealed this photo to you last week, actually, you saw the 5 products that are in the lady's hand, and then the box behind it, which shows 6 additional products for a total of 11. And for those of you who were fast on the draw and got on right away, I think you got your Bogo boxes already. So if you got a Bogo box, please come in and text me, I got a Bogo box. In the meantime, I want to say hello to 3 brand new people. I'm so happy that they're here. So Charmaine, welcome. So happy that you're here. Good evening. Angeline, hi. So good to see you. And also Kui Ling, so good to see you also. I'm so happy that you're here and joining us. And I always love to say hi to our new people. Charmaine, Angeline, Jenny, Queeling, if you want to tell me what country you're in, that would be great too. I'd love to hear what country you're in. So I'm getting a lot of text messages now, people saying, I'm in, I got the Bogo Box. Shally says she got it. Lori says she got it. Jenny says she's in Indonesia, so she didn't get the US Bogo Box. I'm here to suggest to you that there were ways to purchase the box, and maybe we'll talk about that at another time. But what I do want you to know is that BOGOs in the US are not done. So day 1 was the whole box. Days 2 and 3 were the individual BOGOs. And then now, today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, we're going to have individual BOGOs again. So if you were keeping track and you weren't sure, did I get it? Did I not get it? Did I get the thing that I wanted? Did I not get it? You can get online today and you can get those last 3 products if you missed the box, or if you want extras, or you just have a specific favorite that you want to kind of pluck out. Just wanted to remind you. So yes, today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, individual BOGOs are going to be available. So Charmaine says she's from Singapore. Welcome, Charmaine. I love your beautiful country. Thank you so much for being with us. Jasmine says she got the Bogo Box. Queeling says she's also from Singapore. So I'm hoping when I get back to Singapore, I'm going to be able to meet everyone. And yes, I am going to get back there. I don't know when yet, because we've got a lot of restrictions, as you know, but someday soon I'll be walking in your door and you'll say, wow, it's so good to see you again. And while it seems like I haven't been there in forever and forever, I was there at the end of last year. So I was there, I think, in August and again in November. So I haven't seen you in about, I think, 7 months now, which seems like an eternity because of COVID and because we've all been in quarantine. But I really do miss everybody and can't wait to see you all. So let's hear, Angeline says, also from Singapore, great. And Ben Lim says, yes, received the Bogo Box. So Ben, my goodness, you received it already? I didn't even get mine yet. And I'm right here in the US, so now I feel a little disappointed. So hopefully mine will come in the next day or so. I have to say the mail in the US has been a little crazy. So needless to say, we're going to talk more about the magic oils in that mystery box behind this lady's hands and what they mean for you. Okay, so summertime, at least here in the US, but wherever you are, if it's hot out, and I know that you have your kids back at school in Singapore, and if you may be going on break, I know some of the breaks have been adjusted. If you have a child in school in Singapore or Malaysia or Indonesia, just tell me in the box, if you would, in the chat, my kids are in school, my kids are not in school. And I know we're sort of at the end of July now, so they may be going on some sort of a break quickly, or they may have just come off of a break. I'm trying to keep track, folks, but I have to say, with all of the changes in the school schedules, it's hard for me to even know when my kids are going to school. And we'll talk about that in a little while too. Okay, so summertime here, things are beginning to open up. And what I want to make sure is when you have your family outside running around, they are protected. And so these are the products that I have with me, either in my purse or in my car or wherever I am at all times. And I have these products together in a little bag. And I thought that these essentials for everyone are important to know. So I've been carrying these around more or less like this, replacing, of course, as they empty out, or I feel like I need to put a fresh one in there since I started using essential oil. So the idea of a first aid kit is not new for me, but it may be the first time that I'm talking about it here. Okay. Oh, Belinda says, greetings from the land of smiles. I love that. So I hope you're all smiling as you're watching this and that it's going to be interesting to you. So this is, these are not what I have in my first aid kit. I'm going to talk to you about my new and improved first aid kit. If you know these essential oils, the ones that I'm showing in the picture, they are terrific, and I couldn't do without them, but they're not exactly the mix that I put in my first aid kit. My kids are bigger now. They're moving away from home. I don't have little ones anymore. There are certain things that we're just not troubled with anymore that we used to be. And so I allow myself the freedom, if you will, to change up what it is that we have in the kit. And so I want to make sure that you also have that freedom to go and put in your kit what you need. So look at what I'm doing, use it maybe as a base, but then I want you to put together your own kit in a different way. So now tell me in the chat, have you been through my oil camp, and did you already make a first aid kit? I want to know, because this is important. We've got about, I want to say 60 people on the line right now, maybe a little bit more. If you went through my oil camp and you made a first aid kit, I want to know. Let me know in the chat. And I'll kind of wait a minute or two because I want to make sure that everybody's able to answer and tell me. This morning, I'm actually drinking cold coffee. So this is cold coffee with a little bit of coconut milk. It looks like a kind of murky drink here, not too delicious on camera, but it really is refreshing and is kind of giving me a pick-me-up. And I think if I was drinking something hot, I would be boiling, and then I wouldn't look so great on camera because I'd be like sweating and not very happy, needless to say. And I don't know if you realize, but when I'm here with you all, I have some extra light, so it gets kind of hot. So I just want to make sure that you tell me. Oh, so let's see what they're saying about oil camps. So Christy says, went to oil camp and made her kit. Danielle says she made her kit. Janice says never attended before. So Jance, we have to get you on there. Jenny says she hasn't participated. Josephine says no. Olivia says no. Megan says no. Jacqueline says no. Okay. So are you willing to go on in August? I think you'll like it. Now, Jen says no. Hannah says no. Wow. So we have a lot of people who have not gone through oil camp. So the cool thing about oil camp is it's all on Facebook, and it is not live. So I always like to talk about it, that it's like going to camp, but not having to sleep on the ground and be bitten by mosquitoes, right? So it's kind of a fun hybrid. It runs, like I said, for 2 weeks, and it's about a 10 to 20 minute commitment per day. So you're gonna hop on each day, you're going to answer the questions, you're going to do maybe some crafts or different things, you're going to see some videos from coaches that are on my team, and then you're going to learn something new every day, and hopefully you're going to learn something that you're going to be able to pass on to your team. The cool thing about oil camp is we want you to be involved and to be part of the community. What does that mean? So with something, we have usually between 3 and 4 posts per day. You're gonna read the posts, you're gonna either do the activity or at least figure out what it is that you need to do. You have all the oils, folks, because it's based on the original Family Essentials kit. So those 10 original oils, and you're going to do different little things with them every day. And then you're going to comment below. And when you comment, somebody behind the scenes is tallying up all those comments. And if you stay in until the end and you comment regularly, you can win prizes. Now, if you are a superstar and you answer every single solitary question and you do all the activities and so on, you can actually win the grand prize. And the grand prize actually is something super cool. We actually send out a kit of the essential emotional aromatherapy roll-ons. The whole set goes to the grand prize winner. So that's really a cool prize, right? But there's only one grand prize winner. If you answer 90 to 99% of the questions, you get a gold prize. 80 to 89, you get a silver prize. 70 to 79, you get a bronze prize. And if you don't complete it, you can go through it again and try to win a prize. But usually most people win a prize, which is pretty cool. And so there are no limits on the prizes except for the grand prize. Now, here's what I'd like to know from so I'm seeing a lot of people saying they haven't gone through it yet. Mulian C says not yet. Chris says no, first time hearing of it. Okay, so this is pretty cool. So here's what I want you to answer. If you went through oil camp already, let me know if you won a prize. And if I have any grand prize winners on here, which I think maybe I have one, I also want you to let me know. Okay, so let's keep going. These are the next 5 slides are going to be the 5 things that I keep in my first aid kit at all times and why I think they're important. So number 1 are sprays. I actually keep 2 sprays in my first aid kit, and I have them right here actually. I keep my Terra Shield, that's right here, and I have my OnGuard, and these are brand new right here. The reason they're brand new is mine are actually used up. Mine fluctuate with the seasons. So usually in the summertime, I have TerraShield in there, and in the warmer, that's maybe in the warmer seasons, and in anytime we have bugs. So I know that in Southeast Asia, you've been very concerned about dengue, which dengue is a insect-borne disease. You want to make sure that you're protecting yourself against insect bites. So I always use my TerraShield spray. I may add into that a little bit of arborvitae, because arborvitae is an excellent protector against insects. TerraShield does contain a little bit, but you can always put a little bit more if you want to. And I would carry that with me all the time and be spraying it, especially on any exposed skin. So if you're going to be walking around, that might mean your ankles. If you're wearing cool clothing for ladies, it could mean your entire leg if you're wearing shorts or a dress. Could mean the back of your neck, depending where you're sitting, or maybe your arms, wherever you're prone to insect bites. I have to say, for me, whenever I get insect bites, it's always on my ankles. Always, always. Oh, so we have one grand prize winner. Her name is Danielle, and Danielle says she won the grand prize in oil camp. So very cool, Danielle. I'm so happy you're here. So Catherine is asking, can she spray the spray directly? Yes, these sprays, so the TerraShield and the OnGuard spray, were meant to spray directly on the skin. They are pre-mixed, pre-measured, and you don't have to worry about diluting or doing anything to them. So you can use them directly out of the container. So this one is actually sealed, as you can see. And I would just, let's see if I can do this on while I'm talking to you, and that I'm not too clumsy. Let's see. This might be hard to do. I should have given myself a head start, but I did not. So if you open this up, it is pre-shrink wrapped. Yeah, I can't do this right now, folks. I mean, it'll take me a while, but I'll try to do it by the end. And then you would basically just spray it on wherever you needed it to. So that's the number one that I would be using. For those of you who are concerned about bug-borne diseases, I would have this with you, especially now, in your purse. So that's number one. The second spray and so why do I have this? Bugs. So number one, sprays. Second spray that I love is what I'm going to call an owie spray. Okay, so OnGuard and an owie spray are actually at least in oil camp, they're two different things. So number one is OnGuard spray. Here's the classic. You can see that. Also, I have one of those here. And so the OnGuard, there you go. The OnGuard spray is pre-mixed, pre-measured, and you can also spray it directly on your skin. I use it to make sure that my skin is antiseptic and clean. So I'm using it now during this time of great distress in terms of our immune system. I'm carrying it with me all the time. I keep one in my purse, I keep one in my car, and when I leave someplace, I would spray it directly on my hands and just use it just basically as a sanitizing spray. So it does have a large percentage of alcohol in it. You can reuse the bottles and make your own if you'd like to. I'm having a little bit more success with this one. That's good. And so I'm going to try to peel it off and spray it on so you can see it's a very fine mist, and it does evaporate quickly, so you can feel confident that you're not going to have this greasy, sticky mess on your hands. So here we go. If you can see me. Whoop. That's what I would probably do, is a couple of sprays, rub them together, especially on the palms of my hands. If I were out, I might do my whole hand, but I don't want to make a big mess here right at my desk. But at least the palms of your hands, and it really smells delicious. It smells like OnGuard, which I happen to love. Now, we also have a spray. If you go through oil camp, you can actually see a recipe for a list of what I'm going to call your list of must-haves. So a wonderful woman who is on my team here in the United States, her name is Marie Durso. You might have heard me talk about her previously. Love, love, love Marie. She's so smart and so incredibly generous. Whoops. And what I love about Marie is during the time of oil camp, she actually gets on and teaches about an owie spray. And her owie spray has a couple of different ingredients in it, but really she does a great job. Her video is terrific. She's a great presenter. And I love the fact that it's just an alternative. If you like to make your own things, and I know some of you do, but some of you do not, Check out Marie's. Oh, I got it on there. I sent it 3 times. I didn't even mean to do that. So this is a top of my must-haves, and we love Marie, and we just want to say thank you. You can find that link on YouTube. Go there, take a look at Marie's Owie Spray, and then come to oil camp because you're going to learn a heck of a lot of things. So my first 2 things in my first aid kit are sprays. Next thing in my first aid kit are roll-ons. Now, again, not all of these roll-ons. These are all of the roll-ons except for the emotional aromatherapy roll-ons that we have. My first aid kit is not that big, and I don't want to have it be so super heavy. And this is a lot, right? This is 9 roll-ons. I don't carry 9 roll-ons, so I'm being totally honest with you. I want to be able to carry something that's reasonably sized, not too heavy. I don't want to have to carry a suitcase every day filled with essential oils. Although I have on occasion carried my big black suitcase. So if you think that link is broken. Okay, so we'll have to find you a new link. Thank you, Sue Ann. It should be in YouTube. You may be able to look up Marie's video on YouTube because it's on my channel. So if you go to the YouTube channel, I'll post that at the end. It's Elena Yordan on YouTube. So I carry only 4 roll-ons, and here they are. I'm going to tell you what they are in a minute and why I carry them, because I think it's important. Actually, I carry 5. The 5th one I couldn't find this morning. I have to make a new one. So I carry 5 roll-ons. Not all of them are part of the original kit. So I'm carrying sort of a hybrid, if you would, of things that are on, that are part of the original kit. So I'm carrying a past tense roll-on, and the reason I'm carrying that is for head tension or stress. So specifically, you're out and about, maybe you're riding on the MRT, maybe you're in your car, maybe there's a little bit of traffic, maybe there's a lot of traffic. If you feel like there's things that are making you just feel very heavy in your head, right? Your past tense is the trick. So I carry past tense with me all the time. And I found that it's one of those things that when I'm traveling and I meet up with people, they'll say, oh, I'm not feeling well. I have this or that, or this kind of discomfort, and I'll say, here, try this, and they're usually amazed at all the things that the past tense can do for them. The second one that I carry is Digest-Sen roll-on, and Digest-Sen, as we know, is a blend of peppermint and some herbs and things, and I love it to ease any sort of stomach discomfort. So especially when I'm traveling, great for motion sickness. When you're on the road a lot, you may be eating in strange places, you may be eating at odd hours, maybe you're eating food that you're not accustomed to, maybe you're traveling, or maybe just you're feeling a little bit nervous or upset now during this time of our great unsettling, right? And so carry your Digest-Sen roll-on with you. It really can be a great thing. I have to say, in general, I'm not a person who gets stomach aches, but lately I think because of maybe nerves or stress or I don't know what, I've been carrying my Digest-Sen and really using it more. I've been using the roll-on, I've been using the capsules, and I've been even using the Digest-Sen tabs. Not every day. Don't anybody please send me a thing. I'm not suffering from any sort of a disease, but I find sometimes that when I get into bed, I'm just feeling a little bit more stressed than usual, and this has been a wonderful thing. So in the chat, a couple of people are saying, is this pre-diluted roll-on? Yes. And how about, so Eva is asking us, this is the pre-diluted roll-on. It is. Now, Eva's asking about a particular physical ailment. You can see that in the chat if you go onto the chat, but I'm not going to say the name of the ailment right now. Yes, any sort of ailment that you would have with your anything with your digestive tract, you can take your Digest-Sen roll-on and you can actually roll it all the way down, right? All the way down your esophagus. You can roll it onto your stomach. You can roll it onto your abdomen, wherever your food would be digesting. You can roll on your Digest-Sen roll-on, and you can rest assured that it is going to be absorbed right through the skin. I find this Digest-Sen roll-on a terrific, quick resolution for many of the problems that I have. If you have a chronic issue, you may have to use something internally, but yes, Eva, I would be using my Digestion roll-on, at least to start. The other thing that I take with me all the time is my tea tree or my Melaleuca roll-on. And I know in different markets, we have different products, different labeling, and we're making a transition, but everything very soon will be called tea tree, I think. So tea tree roll-on is a terrific one. I like that for, I'll roll it on the skin for soothing minor burns, cuts, scrapes, insect bites. If you've already gotten an insect bite, you want to make sure that you're disinfecting it. So that's why you're using your Melaleuca roll-on. Also, even things like pimples. So if you get something, if you have a blemish on your skin and you want to make sure that it's disinfected, that it stays clean, maybe you touched your face, maybe your hands weren't clean, and now you're thinking, yuck, what's going to happen to me? Put on your tea tree roll-on. It really will help. The last one that the last two, peppermint roll-on, which is soothing on the skin, but also a pick-me-up. So when I'm driving, when I'm out, it can also be very cooling and refreshing. So in the heat, if you need something to kind of pick you up, but you don't want to feel, sometimes straight peppermint can be a little bit too spicy or a little too warm for certain people, especially in the back of the neck where the skin tends to be thin. You want to make sure that you're putting something on, or on children, right? You want to put something on that's a little bit more gentle. I use my peppermint roll-on. It's pre-diluted. You can make your own, folks, if you don't happen to have these specific products. For me, it's a convenience issue. I have to say, I like to cook, but I'm not that great with crafts right now. Got a lot of things going on. But do I like to make things? And if I had the time, would I do it? Yeah, but am I doing it right now? No. So anyway, this peppermint roll-on for me is like sort of a pick-me-up for like a cup of coffee in the afternoon. If I have a slump, if I'm not feeling too energetic, that's when I would put on my peppermint roll-on. And then last but not least is my lavender roll-on. You can see that in the picture on the far left. Lavender roll-on I keep with me for just about everything. It's great for soothing. It's great for cuts, scrapes, burns. Part of this kit, you can make up your own. Of course, you don't have to have a pre-made, but it is one of those things that a lavender is the Swiss Army knife of essential oils. It's moderately priced. One of the reasons why I don't always suggest the frankincense roll-on is especially for new people as they're just starting out. They may feel that frankincense is a little bit too expensive for them. As you become more experienced and you build up your collection, you may feel more, what's the word I want to use? More comfortable or more generous using your frankincense roll-on a daily basis. But at least to start, I feel like most people have heard of lavender and would honestly feel like, yes, that's something that I would be willing and able to use. Third thing that I put in my kit are beadlets, and I put both the OnGuard and the peppermint beadlets in them. And the reason I use them interchangeably are for different things. So I've been using my OnGuard beadlets to support my immune system. It's like a half a drop. It is actually half a drop of doTERRA's signature OnGuard blend with a little bit of fractionated coconut oil in a vegan, sugar-free, gluten-free gel cap, and recently mini gel cap. And recently we've been eliminating carrageenan. So if you ever had any concerns about carrageenan in doTERRA products, the company has made the move to eliminate carrageenan from all of their products. So this is a wonderful product. You can take multiple OnGuard beadlets throughout the day because it is a half a drop, and we usually say no more than 24 drops in 24 hours. You could literally just go crazy and eat as many as you wanted. Obviously, you don't want to go crazy, right? You want to take this moderately. Usually I love it if my throat is feeling, if I'm feeling any discomfort in my throat, maybe a tickle in my throat that doesn't allow me to kind of rest and relax. My mouth feels dry. I use my OnGuard beadlets. I use my peppermint beadlets for digestion. So I keep the two of them together. And many of you know, because I've said this here many, many times, that my kids actually go to school, or actually when they were little, I don't know what they do now because they're both on their way to college, but would carry the OnGuard and the peppermint beadlets together in their backpacks every single day. I personally carry them both in my car, in my purse. I have them all the time. And I find I use them interchangeably. I like the peppermint a little bit more, and I use that a little bit more. Great if you have a dry mouth, if you want fresh breath, you're walking in to go see somebody and you're feeling like, what did I have for lunch? Oh my goodness. pop a peppermint beadlet. For those of you trying to lose weight, I know that some of you are really feeling like, wow, the quarantine 15 really hit me hard. Keep your peppermint beadlets with you. That's a great way. You know that old adage when they say, if you brush your teeth, you're less likely to eat something. It could be a way for you to maybe resist the temptation, or make sure that you don't just grab something when you're out and around. I have to say, for me personally, all of you know that I love bubble tea, but if I have a few peppermint beadlets, I'm able to resist my bubble tea, because bubble tea and peppermint beadlets, yuck. Let me tell you, not a good thing. So just so you know, peppermint beadlet, or beadlets in general, third thing. Fourth thing that I put in my first aid kit is an ointment and Band-Aids. Now, in the US, this is called Correct-X. In how many of you know what it's called outside of the US? If you do, give me a chat, if you will. Tell me exactly who knows what it's called. I'd love to hear. Charmaine says she loves the peppermint beadlets. Yes, Response X. Thank you. So Seong Lee, Dardanella, Jance, Bolin, and Hannah all told me that it's Response X. Love this product. You can use it on a lot of different things. You can use it on blemishes. You can use it on cuts and scrapes. You can use it on toenails, fingernails. It really is a terrific, soothing product. It is greasy, folks. It's going to be a substitute for any of your petroleum-based products like Vaseline, and you don't want to use it all over your entire body, using it selectively. I actually use it sometimes on my cuticles if my cuticles get dry. Now that I've been home for a while, I use it on the soles of my feet. I find that I'm walking around in my house barefoot a lot, and when I do that, my feet start looking really bad. And so I've been using my Correct-X or my Response X on my feet. Hannah says she applies it on her lips and can use it if you get scalded. Okay, yes, exactly, for burns. Terrific. Thank you, Hannah. That's a great use for it. It is a tiny tube, but you don't really need more. So I'm going to show it here in the window so you can see. It's about a little bit bigger than my earring, but not much, right? So you know I like big earrings, but these are not super big ones. Love Correct-X, Response X, multi-purpose. It's natural, soothes the skin, keeps it clean. So once you've washed off your cut or your burn, added your ointment, and then put a Band-Aid on it, really you're good to go. And your skin is kind of recovering from whatever distress it experienced. The other thing is it creates a moisture barrier. So that's one of the biggest things sometimes with cuts, because if we were to put the Band-Aid right on there, especially with a raw wound, it would probably stick, and then we took off the Band-Aid. Oh, you don't even want to think about it. It would take off the skin. So you want that moisture barrier and that healing. Eventually, you want the skin to dry up a little bit, but in the initial stages, you need that hydration. So think wounds, any kind of cuts. The fifth thing that I put in, and this is kind of the last item, and you may be thinking, why did she put this in, are lozenges. The reason I keep lozenges in my first aid kit is because they really are super handy. I find that sometimes with an older person or a child or someone who's just bored, there's a lot of things that you can do with a lozenge. I use the 3 lozenges, I want to say not interchangeably, but I have the 3 of them around. In my office, I actually keep a dish in the corner. You can't see it here because that side of my office, let me tell you, is a mess. They came to wash the windows of my house today, and everything had to be moved from the windows. So one of you commented that my window is less messy today, and yes, it is less messy, I agree. But part of that was because I actually raised the shade, got the window washed at all the windows in the house, and had to clear off everything from the windowsill. So let me know in the comments, do you like the windowsill clean, or you like the windowsill with kind of the doodads in it? So let me know, I'd love to hear. Lozenges. So, you know, there's OnGuard lozenges, Breathe lozenges, and ginger lozenges, and they kind of do different things, but they're great to have around, and they're really almost indestructible unless you, I don't know, bake them in an oven. I think that there's really little that you can do to them, and even if they stay in a hot car or something, they might get a little bit more gummy, but they're really delicious, and you can always pop one in your mouth. OnGuard lozenges kind of a pick-me-up, if you will, helping you with your immune system. You're on the road. Maybe you're talking to people, you want to make sure that your mouth is protected. That's the other reason for you to use your OnGuard beadlets. Breathe lozenges, you're using them for anything respiratory so that you can feel like, my airways are free. And then finally, ginger, usually using that for anything for digestion. So keep them in mind. Kids love them. You got to make sure that your kid doesn't just eat the whole bag. So who's saying, I want to hear in the chat. Oh, Danielle says she puts correct X on her feet with socks at night. In the morning, nice soft feet. Yes, that's a great tip. And then I want to hear from you. Also there, yes, thank you. I'm hearing also in the chat, much better than cough drops. And everybody says that they love all three of them. So tell me in the chat, have you used, it seems like most of you are using the drops on a regular basis. I just keep a couple around. I have to say my mother, who you know is 90, keeps like a whole, she used to keep candies in her purse, like all kinds of little candies. And once we started with doTERRA and doTERRA started coming out with their lozenges, I said, Mom, why don't you keep some of these lozenges in your purse? I think they're a little healthier. And now she carries lozenges in her purse, and she'll, if we're out somewhere or in the car, I can see her discreetly taking a lozenge. So that's a kind of a cute, good use for them. So Quinny says, only tried Breathe Drops and love them. And Megan reminds me, and this is great, that Breathe Drops have Melissa. Oh my goodness, I forgot that one, Megan. That's really terrific. So it's a great, the three of them are a terrific product. You can use them interchangeably. You can use them from time to time, but definitely keep a few of them in your first aid kit. Okay, so now it's your turn. I want to know if you are a person who's had a first aid kit, or you've gotten, or you've put together a first aid kit as a result of having gone through oil camp. I want to hear number one, who already keeps a first aid kit handy? So here's mine. You can see mine. And actually, now that I have the two sprays in it, I have been keeping the sprays on the side. I might actually use a slightly larger bag, because all of the oils and the beadlets and the Correct X all fit in that little bag, and the sprays sort of fit. So, but I'm going to be getting on the road soon. I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. Some of you, Eva says she will put one together after this, which is great. Thank you, Eva. I'm so glad. I hope this provided you with some great information. Everyone's first aid kit is going to be different according to their own needs. Maybe you have little children. Maybe you don't have little children. Maybe you have a specific physical concern that you want to make sure to address, right? That's going to determine what it is that you put into your first aid kit. Some people I know keep their first aid kit in little, like a keychain with the little teeny bottles. And some people keep it in a larger kit, just like me. doTERRA is filled with options, right? For all different sorts of people, different ages. Maybe you're not a huge fan of some of the oils that I've suggested to you. They are pretty basic, but there might be one in there that you say, you know what, that's really not my favorite. Use a substitution, make up your own roll-ons, be proactive. I want you to feel like this is a modality that's empowering you, and so that you can put something together that works for you and for your family. Now, I will say with I mentioned lavender roll-on earlier, and you saw that I didn't have a lavender roll-on, but one of the things I have been carrying with me for stress relief and just feeling less nervous is the adaptive roll-on. Now, does it do exactly the same thing as lavender? No. And is lavender is a single, whereas adaptive is a blend. But in terms of relaxation, de-stressing, maybe falling asleep, can it help me to be, can it substitute for the lavender? It absolutely can. So just keep that in mind. You can always use something else, right? You don't have to use what I suggest. You can always use something else. So I'm looking in the chat, and I'm seeing, wow, a whole bunch of stuff, which is really cool. So Angeline says she has sprays, beadlets, and roll-on to prevent nausea. Okay. Mystique says all the Touch series were my first aid kit. OnGuard, Breathe, Peppermint, and so on. That's great. Great idea, Mystique. Thank you. Sue Ann says past tense, digestion, OnGuard beadlets, peppermint beadlets in her first aid kit, just like me. And they're awesome for sharing with people. Yes, that's absolutely true, Sue Chin. Thank you for sharing that. Sue Ann, excuse me. Quinny says, I carry tiny bottles of essential oil, but I'll prep a kit after this talk. I have many roll-ons on hand. Muliansi says OnGuard sprays and peppermint roll-on. And Muliansi, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. I really want to make sure I'm not making a mess of it. Great suggestion, and sends me a heart, which I always love hearts. Olivia says, has Deep Blue, Digest, Send, and Breathe in my kids' first aid kit. Wendy says, I love Rollers are easier to bring along. Yes, Digest, Send, Peppermint, Breathe. Yep, and Josephine says OnGuard spray. She has. Josephine, do you use anything else besides the OnGuard spray, or you carry it with you? May says, I'd like to use essential oils and roll-on. Yes, I agree. Carrying the roll-ons is so easy. They don't drip, they don't run. Not that we're getting crazy and throwing our first aid kits all over the place, but just in case, right? We want to have something. And sometimes, do you want to just carry a pure, unadulterated bottle of essential oil? Yes, of course. But maybe you're not for your first aid kit, right? Because you want to make sure it's always available to you and it doesn't evaporate. The roll-ons tend not to evaporate. Danielle says, adaptive, lavender, peppermint beadlets, Digest, Send, plus 8 small oils in a keychain. May says, oh yes, May says essential oils and roll-on. So YY says Digest, Send always, and a lavender spray for cuts and scrapes. Okay, YY, tell us, is it just lavender with water, or what else do you put in it? What's in the lavender spray? Because I'd love to hear that. And then Quinny says, I carry the spray and beadlets. Okay, so some really good recommendations. Sounds like you're carrying your oils with you. I'm gonna encourage you to maybe add 1 or 2 things. If you're carrying 2 things, maybe add 1 more, make it 3. If you're carrying 3, make it 4. And if you wanna go to a whole kit, the cool thing about going through oil camp is not only do you make your first aid kit, then you take a picture of it and post it. And I have to tell you, that's the trick often to winning the grand prize, the people that post the picture. A lot of people make it, some people don't make it, and then they don't post their picture. So that's just inside scoop. Josephine says, oh, YY says lavender plus FCO in a spray. Okay, great. Thank you, YY. Josephine says, I mix Immortelle and yellow palm roll-on for her face. Okay. And Josephine, you keep that in your first aid kit? Is it refreshing, or it's to just make you more beautiful? Because I know you're beautiful, but this is going to make us more beautiful, right? Wendy says, when we'll be able to get the spray in Singapore? Wendy, I don't know. I think you're going to have to purchase it NFR, which is through the US system. And then if you're not able to do that, and for those of you who are experienced purchasers in Singapore, let me know if that's not possible. There's some sort of restriction that makes it not possible for you to purchase that NFR. Betty says Digest, Send and OnGuard capsules and Breathe ginger drops, OnGuard sprays. Wow, Betty, you have a great kit. I'd love to see that one. And frankincense. Yes, great. Lori says, got hit by hornets on Friday night and ran in the house to get lavender. What a success. Wow, Lori, that's a great story. So hornets, for those of you who don't know, are like a big sort of a wasp, and they are nasty, and they have a terrible sting. And if you get stung by hornets, oh my gosh, and it can swell up like crazy. So that's a terrific, thank you for that tip, and thank you for sharing your story with us. Josephine says, roll on before I go to bed. Okay, great. Thank you, Josephine. Okay, so I'm going to show you the box again, because this is important, folks. We've been talking about first aid kits, right? But now I want to show you, I'm going to, one more time, the July Bogo box and what was in it. And I'm going to reveal to you what's in the back box. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. What's in the box? All together, these are all 11 products. And you can take a photograph of this. You may already know, but here it is in one place. Yellow mandarin, Roman chamomile, Melissa. Deep blue, past tense, cheer. Turmeric, tea tree, citronella, island mint, and purify. So these are the 11 oils. The cool thing is, folks, these 11 oils could be your first aid kit. They really could. So you got your yellow mandarin in there, which is great for your immune system. That's your citrus oil. You've got your Roman chamomile and your Melissa in there. Also, Roman chamomile, terrific for sleeping, relaxation, de-stressing. You've got your Melissa in there, which honestly is good for so many things, but specifically for your immune system. You could make a spray, you could apply it to your skin if you wanted to, put it on the back of your neck, or you could put a drop under your tongue. You've got your deep blue in there for aches and pains and any sort of physical discomfort with your past tense. So that's really cool. You've got both in there. So past tense, which you usually think of specifically for head tension, although you can use it for any sort of body discomfort that you may have. Your deep blue tends to be really for your body, right? Your cheer, uplifting your mood, your turmeric for boosting and keeping your immune system strong, your tea tree, like we talked about before, applying it onto your skin for cuts, scrapes, and so on. Your citronella, that's your first anti-bug, but anti-bug essential oil. But the great thing about citronella is it's a terrific odor reducer. So if you have odors in your house and you want to get rid of them, whether it's from a bathroom or smelly foods or whatever it is, citronella is your oil. You can make it in a spray. I actually use either citronella or lemon eucalyptus with spearmint in a bathroom spray. That's my combo, and I love it, and my family loves it too. Just those two oils with water, and then I put in a tablespoon of vodka because vodka tends to emulsify the oil so that the spray sprays a little bit better. Island mint, again, you're getting that kind of refreshing, that's your mint. And then finally your purify, again, for smells, but can also be used anti-insects. So I always tell you, you're here because you've become associated with a company that is really smart. And I want to suggest that you are really smart for having been here. And I want to congratulate you because honestly, these specific oils that are in this box may be outside of the box a little bit, if you will. They're less common than maybe lavender, lemon, and peppermint. But because you've been here a while, because you are smart, and because you have learned so much, you're going to know exactly what to do with these essential oils when you start using them again. So if you've missed the first 2 days, you maybe even missed the first 3 days of the US promo, you can jump in today. And today, tomorrow, and Wednesday are going to be the last 3 days of the BOGO. So you could pick up a couple more oils and kind of finish off this week strong. So I've got a lot of people on saying, Hannah says she has an Owie blend, an OnGuard hand mist, and peppermint beadlets. Lynette says Rose Touch. That's a great one, Lynette. I actually love Rose Touch, and I carry it around. I use it kind of like a perfume, but it is really good. And Joyce says Breathe. Yeah, for mask wearers, absolutely. So us too, we're wearing masks here indoors primarily if you're walking outdoors. And I know I don't live in strictly in a city. I live outside of a city in a more suburban area. So when I'm walking in my own town and around here, I don't have to use a mask unless I'm going into a shop or a store of some sort, then I have to put my mask on. And yes, I love the idea of putting Breathe in the mask. I should probably start doing that on a regular basis. Lemongrass, she says, is also terrific for odors in a room. Yes, it is, but lemongrass isn't available in the box, but that's a good tip. And then finally, we want to bring our kits with us wherever we go, right? Because it's not great if it sits in the house and doesn't get used. We want to make sure we have it wherever we go. Okay, so what I want to say thank you to our Presidential Diamond team. You're the people who get everybody here every week, who organize these groups. I want to make sure that, we're always supporting you, but thank you for everything that you do and all the hard work that you've been putting together to keep all of our little community. I love our community. I'm so happy that we get to be here every week. I want to remind you that the ideas in this presentation are primarily from the book Essential Oils Healthcare for Today, a beginner's guide, available on Amazon. It does have recommendations for a 90-day plan for each of the 50 top health ailments. If you're interested in a free gift, you can go to elenayordan.com and sign up for our free resources. We do have an ebook that you can take a look at once you're there. It's part of the great thing about being on some of these websites or having a website is that we're able to kind of, I don't know, send you something when we want to, right? We're able to give away prizes on YouTube to the live viewers, but then we're also able to kind of follow up and make sure that you have something later on. We're also on Instagram, usually on a daily basis with tips and tricks. We've been talking a lot about the oils in the Bogo Box over the last few days, and we're going to be talking about that too. And we have always new and interesting things going on. Don't know if we're running a contest right now, but we've run a lot of contests over the last few months, including a giant one that we ran back in June because June was my birthday month. So hopefully we'll be running something again soon. I'd love to see you there. And on YouTube. So if you want to see a broadcast or a copy of this particular call, you can go onto YouTube and you can watch it live, or you can watch it recorded, sorry. So for those of you who are on this call and listening to me live, if you want to go back later or you want to send this to somebody else, you can listen to it also on YouTube. And then finally, please remember that you're amazing and that I'm eternally grateful that you're here with me, with all of us every single week. If you haven't been able to contact or shout out in the chat, just know that I'm thinking about you. I know some of you may be driving to work. You may be about to go to sleep. You may be on a night shift. Maybe you can't text me at this time. You can't get into the chat, or maybe you're on a phone and it's too hard to do. Just know that whoever you are, that I'm thinking about you, and I'm praying for you. I want you to know that you're always in my heart and on my mind, and this is a very, very special group for me. Let's keep you and your family safe during this time. And last but not least, thank you for being here. Have a wonderful week. I think this is going to be a great one. I did want to mention to you that we may be taking a little bit of a break. I haven't taken a break from throughout COVID, but I'm actually going to be on the road for 2 weeks. So I'm going to be driving down. Right now I am in New Jersey, but I'm going to be driving down to Texas. So you'll be hearing about that. If you're connected with me on Instagram or Facebook, you'll be seeing my trip as I travel around the United States. It's a long drive. This is a big country. It'll actually take me 3 days to drive down there, and I'm going to be driving down there over the time that we would usually have our call together. So for right now, and I'm not sure if things will change, there will be no call on the, Monday, the 17th of August. That's in 3 weeks. And I'm going to see if we're going to have a call on the 24th, but we'll definitely, we'll be on here on this. We will not be here on the 17th of August. So 2 more weeks and then I'll be gone. I'm going to be taking a little bit of a break, and then we'll see for the 24th. I will keep you posted. I hope that this has been a good meeting for you, and that you've been able to learn a lot, that you, if you had a kit from before, you said, wow, I'm on the right track and I got the right things. And if you have never set up a kit, or you've never been on oil camp, that you're thinking now, maybe I want to do this. So a lot of you are saying, have a safe trip, and we'll have a thank you everyone. Take care. Yes. So don't forget, 2 more weeks, then I'll be gone, and we'll see what happens on the 24th. If on the 24th I will not be back, I will let you know on that week also. I'm going to miss you because I'm going to be doing all sorts of other things. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive from New Jersey to Dallas, Texas, which is about a 24-hour drive, not in 1 day, in 3 days, as I mentioned. And then from there, I'll drive to Houston. And then from Houston, I think we'll maybe go to Louisiana, and then finally home. Plans are a little bit fluid right now, but that's either way. It'll be good. It'll be good. I'm going just with my son, I think. My husband's going to stay home, take care of our house. But I think we're going to be driving down, dropping him off at college. It's a brave new world. Okay, so I want to make sure that you know that every week we give away prizes to 2 lucky winners. on this call. If you are a subscriber on YouTube and you're able to get on live, you absolutely will be eligible for prizes. If you're not on live, thank you so much for having been here. Consider subscribing below, and all of our links are available for any of the products that we mentioned, any of the YouTube and so on are available right below. So subscribe and come back and find out more, because we're always doing new things on this channel. So if you are listening on YouTube, thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you next week.